Hello everyone, this is Anindya. Today I am going to present a paper on VF-tree, a versatile network architecture for data center. This paper has got published in the year 2021 in IEEE Transaction on Cloud Computing. The authors are Juan Duan and Yayunk Yang. Before moving into the deep into this paper, let's understand the problem statement. As we understand that in today's world there are many industrial sectors which are getting emerged. There are many emerging sectors, and with the increase in the number of sectors, the data set is also increasing, and it in day to day life it is generating a very large volume of data sets. So we should think of how to manage these data sets, how we can manage such huge amount of data. In order to manage such huge amount of data, we need to improve the network infrastructure. So in order to boost the performance of the distributed data processing, we need to improve the infrastructure out of it. So basically we need to improve the data centers. So once we think of improving the data centers, then only it will be capable of handling such large amount of data. Also, the author observes that with the hierarchical design and use of network devices, sometimes with the use of it is, first thing is, it is very much costly, and with the growing needs, the use of so many network devices will increase the expenditure. Also, the high-end network devices may not support a portion of the aggregate bandwidth. So bandwidth also is another challenge, which the network devices might not support and might support partially. So it's not in a greater benefit. As we understand the problem statement, now let's try to find the solution regarding this. Here, the author proposes a novel data center architecture uh, regarding the design of network topologies, redesigning the addressing schemas, and formulating the static and dynamic routing algorithms. So the author focuses on end-to-end design of an architecture which will be able to manage the routing of the data centers and managing such huge amount of data sets. That is called as versatile fat tree network. The proposed architecture should be able to provide dynamic range of configuration and also sufficiently wide and sufficiently granular to provide a more dynamic range of configuration across the network. May it be changing the device configurations and also handling and passing on signals across the devices. The topology of this architecture is also versatile enough so that it can be upgraded. Upgrades can be done also based on the existing network devices. So it is independent of the network devices which gets added to the network and which gets removed from the network. It also avoids the purchasing of new devices, and also avoid the upgrade of it. Basically, when the customer has to spend a lot on the infrastructure, there incur a lot of expenditure. So that can be avoided with the use of V-tree. It uses two parameters that are introduced, one for the port allocation configuration of the switches, and the other one for the multi-tier structure of the VF tree. The algorithm also performs very good on the load balancing side, and also is able to handle a huge amount of traffic. The SEP and the topology is also configured and rearranged in such a manner that uh, the user don't need to check if any network devices is required to be added, any high-end device is required to be added or not. It also keep a track which devices in the network can be reused in a more efficient manner, like a switch or a router, how it can be used in a more efficient manner. Moving on to the next slide. Novelty. So now let's understand what is the novelty behind this paper. So the BF tree provides very high performance with respect to the factory configuration, and also the applications which require a very higher bandwidth, those also can be improved through the V tree configuration. The V tree also helps provides two parameters specifying the number of upward and downward movement of the ports of the switches, as compared to the factory networks where the number is fixed. Specifically, factory doesn't allow such type of configuration of upward and downward movement of the ports and the switches. So it provides the flexibility of changing networks. The algorithm always performs load balancing and also resolve any kind of traffic congestions related to the regardless of the shape of the topology. So once the topology is designed, it there is no dependency on it. It can perform the load balancing and also can swap between networks on resolving the traffic congestion. So with this context, it has the ability to rearrange the network devices more accurately, like a switch. Switch can be used to improve, switches can be reused to improve the performance efficiency. The same switches can be used to improve the performance efficiency rather than using the different one. So the BF tree is also able to upgrade the data centers with the existing network devices. So there it it helps to improve the network efficiency without adding any high end devices to it, thus saving our expenditure as well. It acts as a bridge between the generation of the network products. It also solves the open problem of implementing topology specified, which are in the factory networks. It provides with higher bandwidth and with the use of very fewer switches. So it is quite better than the factory networks with respect to the topology design as well. These are all the different advantages of using VF tree. This is the schematic diagram representation of the VF tree, which has been implemented over this algorithm. So this is the VFT architecture over here shows exactly one bidirectional link uh, between the vPort and the switch in the core tier. And once the switches and servers are configured across it, it once it is configured specifically, it represents moving on this architecture to the routing schema. So the routing is configured once the switches and other devices are configured. So it provides a very flexible kind of design where there is the routing scheme is independent of the moving of the devices. There are three form of the three tiers of switches: core layer, aggregation layer, and the edge layer. So here a simple vPort has been arranged across vPort arrangement has been shown where the three switches are taken into consideration in the aggregation layer, and there is no interconnection between the switches. It's kind of independent, and it is routing the signals to the specified network based on the availability, and parallelism is also maintained. Moving on to the next slide. So critics. So here, as I was describing in my last diagram schematic representation, the edge tier, the aggregation tier, and the core tier. These are all the three tiers of switches being available. The switches in this edge tier and the aggregation tier are also grouped into submodules, as we saw in the last slide, before they are merged into the entire topology. In a vPort design, specifically, there is exactly one bidirectional link between each switch in the edge tier. So specifically, in a bidirectional link of design between the switches, there is only each switch in each tier, and each switch in the aggregated tier. Specifically, there is no link, you can say, being done between each of the switches. It is based on the network. It is based on the algorithm design, how the switches communicate among each other. There is no link between the two switches in the same tier of design. The figure shown in the last slide represents the versatility of the V4. The performance of the network can be upgraded based on the use of the same and the existing devices, without introducing any new generation devices, which incurs as a lot of cost. Also, after addressing the switches and the server, the routing scheme is also designed. So in that way there is a independent in services being provided by the VF tree. The VF tree also emphasize on improved static routing process in comparison to the fat tree configurations. So the routing configuration provided by the VF tree manages a heavy traffic load, and as we show in the last figure, it the signals operates in a parallel path. No matter what is the VF tree configuration, the abstraction is hidden to the users specifically, and it works in an independent manner. So we saw that there are a lot of advantages of using VF tree while configuring it in a data center. So here's the conclusion. We got to know that VF tree is well advanced than a factory network, uh, which improves though the efficiency, uh, bandwidth, the applications requiring better bandwidth uh, are quite are quite uh, are quite comfortable enough to follow the VF tree architecture. The topology and performance can be upgraded while use of the existing devices, and the configuration can be configured in a dynamic way with fine granularity. These are all the specific features which VF tree provides to us. Also, the VF tree is capable enough to handle increasing traffic in the mainstream distributed fashion. So VF tree is able to solve the problem of building fat-free data centers with minimum number of switches required, and those switches can be reused based on the network needs. Moving on to the next slide. Though there are many advantages of VF tree, but there lies some future improvement on this algorithm. We show that the VF tree is backward compatible with FAT tree terms of use of switches and protocol stack. In order to make it more efficient, the algorithm can be improved in a forward and backward compatible manner. So if the algorithm will be capable of making it in a forward and backward compatible manner, it will be able to add the devices, it will be able to remove the devices, and the configuration stack can be intact, the use can be intact. So yeah, this gives us a brief idea how the VF tree network works and what are the advantages of it. That's all I have. Thank you all.